Everybody, and welcome. Woohoo! Hex Token live stream today. Are you guys pumped? I'm pumped. And of course, man, there's so much stuff going on. Honestly, it's insane. And to keep up with it is a really hard chore. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work as well. I thought the crypto was supposed to be kind of easy. I thought it was supposed to be to sit back and relax, but just the way it is. I guess being a content creator, it's also busy. But I see some people, we've got some pretty good crypto pros in the chat there. Also good there as well. I know sometimes when I talk, I end up thinking faster than I'm actually talking, and my talking starts getting muddled up. So that's the way it happens sometimes. But hey, let's slow it down. Let's slow it down really slow. All right, so welcome everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be talking about stock market updates, of course, a crypto bullish. Hey, it's great. It's October, and it's great to have this reprieve as well. There's a window of opportunity between interest rate rises, but we're going to talk about that. Maybe things are going to be a little bit more optimistic in the short term, but don't hold your breath too long. And of course, we're going to get into the Hex crypto markets. Of course, the Hex ecosystem with all the derivative products. We're going to get into that. We're going to go through the all our prices that we're watching, all the cryptos we're following, both the conservative ones and the speculative ones. We're going to get into obviously updates around Pulsechain projects and other associated projects. So we're going to be getting into Zen. I don't even know how to say it. Zen, I guess it is. PulsePot, of course. BNB pot, I should say. PulsePot hasn't launched until Pulsechain launches, so it's BNB pot. And of course, we're going to get into Richard Hart, the Millionaire Maker. Richard Hart, the Millionaire Maker. So stay tuned for that later on towards the end. And plus, we've got the Hex Daily Stats coming up as well. So lots to talk about, folks, and very, very cool. Let's get into it and say hello before we do. We got Go Pulse Win says, will you mint Zen there? Xen? I'm just going to call it Zen. It's Zen, or be a Z? X, I don't know. N? Will you mint N? I don't know. Is it a silent X? I don't know. Let me know. Will you mint X? It's such a hard one to say, honestly. Seriously, pick a better name. X is a much better name. X. And of course, we've got a poll in the house there at the moment. Will you mint the free XN on Saturday in 3 days and 18 hours time? And of course, obviously, it costs gas fee. It's going to be on 3 chains: Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and of course, Polygon. It's going to be pretty big. Obviously, if everyone's minting on the Ethereum chain at the same time, gas fees can be pretty heavy. So it'd be a bit like an NFT launch or something like that. Anyway, we've got 4 options: yes, maybe, no. What is XEZN? Now, I did post my first little video in the Xen there. I hate the word, honestly. It's a really short word, but it's just hard to say. And of course, it's going to be free pretty much, starting from zero. Everyone's going to be getting it. It's really a network, sort of a pyramid type thing, but it's free. So it's free. And of course, it will be tradable on the markets, and there'll probably be other use cases for it. But that's kind of it. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, get into the poll, folks. Let me know what you think. Did a short video out already. I've got another short video coming out an hour after this live stream. So the first video was how much is Zen worth. Anyway, I'm talking about that project. I'm not even up to it yet. We'll talk about it then. And of course, BDC in the house there. Good to see. Let's the party begin. Absolutely. Hex Hodl in house. FOMO on the gas fees. Absolutely. Hex Hodl. Absolutely. Check my pulse says, woohoo, suit man. Good evening, fellow Hexagons. Good to see you. Check my pulse. And Christos is in the house as well. Good evening, Suitman. Finally able to catch you live. Very, very cool. And, of course, the Church for Universal Oneness as well. Peace and good health and prosperity to everybody. Very, very lovely. Appreciate that. Good to see you in the chat, too. It's been a little while. Ted Nelson, morning all. And, of course, crazy markets we are having. Absolutely, Ted. And, of course, who else there? We've got Cookies and Crypto. Let's do it. Absolutely. Hash Crypto as well. Let's go. I love it. I love the attitude in the chat, man. Brilliant. And of course, was it Xen? How am I calling it? Xen? I'm going to say it like that. Xen is interesting, says Christian. It is. It's made by Jack Levin, the Google employee number 21. I think that's a thing, apparently. Google employee 21. And of course, he has obviously a bit of a whiz and has decided to do a very simple form of network crypto. So the more people, the better. I guess what is other things that are similar, like maybe Pi Network? Pi Network's not near as good as this. It's got a huge following mining Pi, but I find it kind of I don't know. It just doesn't doesn't quite ring me. I was sort of looking at that quite a lot, been mining a lot of them, but just like, they want KYC and everything else. Oh my gosh, just like, seriously, guys, you trying to hook us into the system or what? Crypto's supposed to be about decentralization. Pi Network's like, man, they're basically hooking you into KYC and everything else. Man, oh man, it's like dog's breakfast. Anyway, so what else have we got there? Lammy says, what do you make of Matty Allen's project? Says Lammy. Hey, look, it seems like a well-meaning project. I know he's getting huge following on it, which is good for adoption if he's going to have that. And some people will want to use it, some people won't. I personally won't be using it, but other people might be using it. And, best of luck to them. If it helps them, longer pays better, and pay yourself, later on, then delayed gratification, that's good. But like I say, it's, it's good. It's a good project. Has well meaning with it. So we'll see. It's kind of where I feel at the moment. So cool. KD says, Suitman in the house. Hey, KD, good to see you. Pleasure as well. And what's up, Suitman? Hello, all. I like the concept of XZen. I gotta say that right. Hexen. And of course, what's up, Hexagons? Hey, Tin Top. Hey, Tin Top, good to see you. Andrew is in the house as well. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday in Kiwi land. It's not quite that in the United States. Probably in the evening or afternoon in the United States there. What else there? Christian is in the house. Woo! D-Hex as well. Let's go Hexagons, Pulsexagons, all around the world. I love that. And we've got Cliffy in the house as well, waiting for Pulsechain to launch. It's like waiting for SLS to launch. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. That's true. Anyway, so let's get into it, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. We're getting up towards 6,000 subs. Can you believe it? That's getting up there slowly and surely. So yeah, 48 subs to go. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, throw a subscribe on there. And of course, if you want to join the channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulseskins, Hexagons, Rich Heart Club. We cover those pretty faithfully during the whole year. And of course, also we cover a lot of related projects as well. And a few, maybe one or two speculative projects on top of that. All right, so cool. Let's go. Stock market Dow rides hopes for a Fed pivot to closer high. Now, obviously, I had a theory around the midterms on November. These guys would probably go to 50 basis points, as you guys know. And of course, now we've got the economic data softening a little bit. This is we did talk about this earlier that if we do have changes in employment and demand and things like that, it's typically a lagged impact from recession. Obviously, we moved into a technical recession for 2 quarters, and so you get a bit of a lag play there. And they're hoping inflation organically comes down somewhat, but of course, it's been up in the mid 8.5, 8.3 sort of mark. So it's been a big issue. But at the moment, last month, man, red. A lot of the time, we had a few green days on the stock market, but of course, yesterday and today, brilliant. So Dow Jones up another massive 2-3%. And of course, Dow Jones, the top 30 industrials in the United States, up at 2.8%. Isn't that cool? It's good for us in crypto, man. But just a bullish environment. And of course, 825 points. S&P up 112 points or 3% up to 3,790. And the NASDAQ, which has a lot of the tech companies in it, is up 3.3% up to 360 points to 11,176. So the cool thing to note there, in particular interest, is the Dow Jones back over the 30,000 mark. Very cool position. The volatility index for the S&P 500, that is down 3.4%. So basically risk on yesterday, risk on today. And of course, fantastic. The dollar is down versus its trading partners, down 1.4%. Obviously, that's been strengthening despite the deflation of it. So the real dollar's difference has been going down with inflation, of course. Let's have a look at commodities. Brent crude there up at $91.80. Let's have a look over the last month. And of course, that's only just up slightly there. Pretty messy month. Look up and down, up and down. We did get down pretty low, down to $83, which is a lot better right at the pump. And also for inflation, nominal inflation there. So cool. What else there? We also had the crude oil there, West Texas at $86. So pretty, that's still open, but just let down slightly. Gold has had a really good rally. So it's up $2.95 and it's up at $17.33. And of course, if you look at the month there, you can see the month gold was up at $17.37, came all the way back down to what, $16.28. Not great, was it? And then back up, powered back up here. So not too bad. Now silver's at $21. Remember Kiyosaki, the rich dad, poor dad, famous dude. That's I think also probably got a little position in Hex somewhere. He has talked about silver being the poor man's investment in the next couple of years, particularly as a combat to inflation. I think he was mentioning something like 3 to 5x potentiality. A lot of people have been saying that for a long time. Obviously, recently on Twitter, they had this, a silver squeeze. And of course, there's pros to cons to that. You don't want to, don't need to believe everything you hear, but definitely it's got a possibility of that happening. All right, cool. What else there? Soybeans up a little bit on the food. Let's get to the commentary, though. The Dow soared for a second straight day on Tuesday, yes, and we loved it, riding high on the hopes that the Fed could pivot from its hawkish path of monetary policy tightening as data showed signs of slowing labor demand. So we did say this was a lag figure, and of course it was holding up pretty well, starting to get a few chinks in the armor, as it were, but not just in labor markets, but in asset markets, from property through to crypto. We've had those issues. The job openings. So here's the results. They forecast 10.775 million. They got a 10.05 million. So softer than expectations. The previous was 11.17 million. So job openings there declined a little bit there. Now, obviously, I've been doing videos, as you guys know, every month now. For the last 3 months, I've been doing videos on the major economic indicators coming up for the next month. So if you haven't checked those out, do check them out because they're useful, because these are the indicators that may have a major impact on the market. And we already see how this is playing out, especially with the Fed. If the Fed interest rates are the big thing in the market, remember that's inversely related to the asset prices, then anything that's going to soften the chances of a rate rise is a pretty big deal. And of course, that also helps you to sort of plan around your investments and things like that, whether you're doing risk management with USDC or whatever else. So just take that into account. And so I've been posting those every month, and I think they're pretty useful for that sort of thing. You can map around your investment strategy around those deals, particularly if you have an opinion or position on them. All right, so cool. That's pretty much it. Fell to the lowest since June last year. And we're very broad-based and span most industries and all business sizes, which is pretty interesting, the wide coverage there on the decrease in openings. If the slowdown in labor demand continues and core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, falls as much as we expect, the Fed will not be hiking by 125 basis points by the end of the year. Remember, their target was 4.5% on the federal funds rate, which means that they have to just keep going up there. So cool. Treasury yields. No, basically they were targeting maybe 75 basis points in November. So we'll see what happens. Treasury yields continued their retreat in the wake of bets of a less hawkish Fed, helping growth sectors of the economy, including tech, to build on Monday's gain. Remember, also the other part of the narrative was when the pound crashed after the tax plan from trusts over in the UK there. People thought the Fed would pivot on that, but I wouldn't suspect the Fed's going to pivot on that, but they might pivot on this information. And of course, I do have a theory around the midterms as well, because they want to benefit their masters, or that's how I like to put it. Apple ended up 2.5%. Microsoft and Alphabet rose more than 3%. And of course, some of the big news here around Twitter jumped 22% as Elon Musk is reportedly set to end his legal battle with the social media giant and proceed to acquire the firm at the previously agreed $54.20. I'm surprised he didn't have a stronger position in the courts for that. He may be backing up for the courts, but I would have thought he had a fairly good position given some of the issues and lack of disclosure and bots and things like that. That seemed pretty material to me. The U-turn from Musk is a clear sign that Musk recognized heading into Delaware court that the chance of winning against Twitter board was highly unlikely. Yeah, I was surprised at that. I would have thought he would have a very good case, to be honest, any material deviations from previous disclosures under the contract. So a bit weird to me. Energy stocks were the biggest sector outperformer as oil prices climbed 3% a day ahead of the OPEC Plus meeting Wednesday that is expected to culminate in the decision to curb oil production. This is the crazy stuff about the U.S. administration. They put the work, not only themselves, but the rest of the world in this situation. And of course, that basically means moving from self-sufficiency and, straight away, if you remember the first day of executive orders, they were attacking the energy industry and the source. Now they're reliant basically on other people that can prop the price up and still do the so-called emissions that they want to do. So it's just a bit of a joke, really. Something happened in New Zealand that's probably not relevant to you in most places, but our silly government's cut down our only refinery in the country, intentionally, of course. There'll be a double-pronged approach to their so-called climate agenda, which, you know, it's a bit of a fallacy. And of course, they've been saying that for decades, and I've studied it for 30 years. It's a big fallacy. Then the other side, of course, is they're also basically making New Zealand part of the WEF World Global Domination. So basically get rid of our refinery. We're relying completely on refinery overseas, and therefore we're sucked into the international program that way. Instead of being able to go buy oil and then process it, we're now stuck into that. So complete nutters running the place here. And of course, they shut down our own refinery, so it's pretty crazy. Right, so we've got one coal-powered station. They probably shut that down too, even though China's making 50 of those a year with 400 megawatt power stations, and coal use around the world in these non-Western countries is at an all-time high. So it's pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, that there is the commentary with a bit of views pushed in there. Let's jump over to crypto, and of course, crypto at the moment, woohoo, on the back of that stock market too. 20,357. Remember, we wanted to get BTC over 19,600, 9,700, and we got it. Woo! Nice one. $20,357, 3.62. And then, of course, Ethereum there slowing behind 1364, up 3%. But of course, we're looking forward to that. Typically, the altcoins move once the BTC can stay strong, then we might get some of these double-digit increases in markets as well. So maybe October will be generous from that point of view. The other thing, of course, is with the Twitter deal with Elon Musk looking like it may proceed. The Dogecoin has moved as well. Maybe he'll flush Twitter through with Dogecoin and crypto. We'll see that. Of course, that's some of the backing there. 9.44% is Dogecoin up at the moment. BNB is holding pretty nicely here too, up 3% to 296, looking pretty good there. And I'm just having a look around at some of these others here. The links up pretty nicely. And of course, eGold there has some of the highlights there for sure. Let's jump over to the news here around crypto. I'm not going to read this whole thing out, but basically this is associated to that Dogecoin price predictions. And of course, now Bullish is Elon Musk Twitter takeover back on. And of course, you can see that that resulting. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. The intention of the company to close the transaction at $54. Way overpriced, man. Way overpriced. And the other thing, of course, you got to gut the head office. Head office is full of crazy nut job leftists out there who are trying to stop free speech and impose their worldview. So you've got that on all these platforms, and you basically got to gut them and put people that are either neutral or something like that, because it's crazy stuff. So and they've got to tidy up all the bots on there as well, which is just unbelievable. So cool. That's a bit of insight there. Altcoin Super says going nuts with Elon Musk news, about to enter a supply zone. I wouldn't personally buy there. Looking to short at 65, but it's going up. So cool. That is pretty much it on that one. Let's jump into the Hex prices though. Woohoo! Rock on. Hex actually on the move here. And of course, following the rest of the market up a little bit there. Still soft though. Still relatively soft because we're still at this 3.45. If we can break out over this here, that'd be pretty cool on the daily. But we did get down recently to 3.1 and have a nice last 2 days. Not too bad. And of course, we're into the next day. There's a new day candle here. So good looking good there on Hex. And of course, you can always go well with Hex. So check out hex.com. Maxi, of course, is going back up. So got all the way down to 6.74. Ouchie. And of course, now it's back up to 7.3. Let's have a look at the ratio, which is the more important number, I think. We got down to a 2.03 Hex per Maxi. And we're back up at just under 2.12 Hex per Maxi. So looking a little bit better there. Really spluttered out here, right? That's after the two whales sold. Really spluttered out here. And this is the collapse there. This thing here, that was really telling. And down we went. So I did say that at the time. Said, oh, that's looking a bit weak. We need a whale to get in to save that one. But because typically you would expect it to go maybe up to here, to about here. And then just to slowly consolidate. And then someone come in and move it up. But it didn't even get that far. Only got back up here on the premium up to 2.2. That was a worry there, and then back down it came. So I've seen that sort of stuff a lot. So interesting there. Let's have a look at the Maxi team. We're going to have a look at the premium there. It's at 7.087 cents, 1.31. So the premium looking pretty good there. 1.31 there on the Maxi team. Remember, the team is a DAO token for the Maximus group, and the Maxi is the 15.2-year stake. So there we are. That's where it is. Let's look at Acosa. I didn't talk about Acosa the other day. Acosa at the moment $1.12. So looking good. If you're earning Acosa, very, very nice. If you staked your Hedron, you staked your Acosa, you got your Wattses, you're earning Acosa, and it just got more valuables, which is pretty cool. Really hooked into that HSI buybacks. And of course, November the 13th, 14th onwards for the next 2 weeks going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, everyone's going to get, we're expecting big Hedron burn there, particularly now we've got Poly Maximus out in the play. The dip catchers feverishly coding for that. And of course, that's going to allow all the small players to be able to bid on Hex HSI stakes as a whale, and basically bring that pooled staking feature together. And of course, the other thing, of course, is going to be massive HSI sales, something like 60,000 T-shares, I understand, and of course, over 5,000 HSIs, and of course, 2,500, I think it's on that first day in the mid-November there. And then, of course, massive Acosa inflation, massive Acosa rewards. And really, it's like that big payday in Hex. That's what kind of reminds me of, that 2 week period. And, of course, you'll become really the OGs with most of the inflation that stays. That's kind of the way it feels at the moment. Yeah, so looking cool. That leads us into Hedron, which is pumping. It got down here to, about a low of 2,500. It's now way back, touching on 4,000 here. Currently at 3,944. Woohoo! Looking good. And the RSI still got a bit of room to move. So you can expect more good things as long as the rest of the market holds there. This is the longer time frame here. This is the all-time high, remember, this orange line. And, of course, up at that 7,300 mark. We didn't get there last time at 6,200. Came all the way down to 2,500, back up towards 4,000. Looking good, though. Looking good. Higher lows over the longer period of time. Looking good. This is the linear chart, of course, and looking good there. So pretty cool. Let's jump over to the BNB memes. Before we do that, though, let's look at the Hex whale and the Hex. Let's have a see what the Hex whale has been doing before we move away from the Hex ecosystem. Let's check that out. So last 21 hours or so, yeah, we had 5.4 million sold 23 hours ago. 180 million Hex in stake. So we knew we were going through these about 4 days of particularly large stakes coming out. So that one there, 11% APY, 62 days. And of course, it'd be interesting to see whether they just scraped the interest or reinvested it. So that's cool. 221 million Hex stake for 31 days, another one. So this is where we're expecting these candles. They were something like 400 million or 300 million or something. And of course, most of it just restakes, just like I said. Most of that stuff does. So cool. When you're wrong, though, you can be wrong, right? When you're wrong, it can have an impact on the market. But this is the way it goes most of the time. 5 million sold 18 hours ago. What else there? Some good accounting. We always like good accounting. Well, we feel sorry for the people, but it always goes back to us, right? So I had a big day in good accounting. It's all those good accountings. So that means good penalties for us today with the T-shirt there. 1 million Hex in stake there. Negative 13% APY. Whoa! 1,070 days over 2,173. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. I'm not sure what happened there. And let's see if anyone's made any comments. All right, so not sure. Maybe sold there. So cool. That's what happened with the whale bot. Let's have a look at the stakes at the moment. On the global stakes, so there's everybody stakes in Hex. And of course, so let's go just to the end of the year. Let's go to the end of the year here. Whoa, what happened there? That reset. Sorry about that. Just reset. I don't know why it happened. Let's go to just the end of the year. Hopefully it's not going to reset again. And that will do to the 11th of January. How about that? So yeah, we got rid of all these 4 big staking candles. And here we are moving forward to the end of the year. We've got 374 coming out left in October, 373 on the 16th. We've got 394 coming out 1st of October, 289, and then 256 in November. And then finally we get to December, just the day before the Hex 3rd birthday. 323 million Hex there. And of course, we're pretty good all the way till the end of the year. That's the end of the year there. And then in early January, we've got 242. But, all the billion candles have gone. Things are breaking up slowly and surely. Obviously, there's a decent amount in liquid bags. But, of course, that's just the way it goes. That's market for you. But definitely looking good there. Looking better. All right. Cool. Let's jump over to actually, before we get to BNB memes, let's jump over to the ETH Power network. I'm going to do this a little bit different because it's kind of related. Everyone got forked over their assets if they had them at the time. We've got Hex is jumped down to number 6 now. We used to dominate the top there, but Uniswap and USDC is powering up there. I still haven't seen news around USDC, so let me know in the chat there if you've seen anything. But the pools are looking pretty good there, and it seems to have it's just under $1 peg. So that's a bit of a game changer there. Just haven't had any news because USDC wasn't going to support the chain in August, so I'm a little confused by that. And it certainly didn't when it launched. But now we've got these USDCs pegged up here. So yeah, let me know if you've seen anything. I just haven't seen anything yet. Hex Hedron there is number 6, 7, and 9. No, not 9. Number 6 and 7. That's it. So we've only got 2 left in the top 10 there, but they're important ones. And of course, liquidity 69 for Hex, and Hedron Hex is 84,000. But the prices dropped back, man. So that's really interesting because the high was 0.4 of a penny, and it's down 25%. So down to 0.0076. It's getting closer to ETH Fair's price. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that. This got better network effect and better exchange adoption. So I'm a little surprised by that. But ETH Fair is still kicking away there. Let's have a look at ETH Fair. Now the volume, of course, of ETH Power is 2.1 million for the day, 38,000 transactions. Let's jump over to ETH Power. We've got $83,000. So look at the difference: 2.1 million versus 83,000 on ETH Fair volume. And of course, you got 38,000 transactions versus 3,700. So it's a very big difference in the chain size, network effect, exchange listings, things like that. But of course, liquidity, Hex is still dominating on ETH Fair. And of course, there we are at the top there. 1, 2, 3, 4 with Maxi. So 4 out of the top 10. I think we used to have like 6, didn't we? 4 out of the top 10 there. And of course, the Hedron, the Hex price is currently at 0.00466. So pretty much the ETH Power network's fallen back, and it's closer now. Where's it here? Fallen back. It's closer now to the Hex price on ETH Fair, which is pretty interesting. And of course, this has actually been generally performing better. Not much change in the last 24 hours, and liquidity obviously lower, but that's pretty much it. So cool. This is still referencing centralized exchange prices. So MC's ETH, and USDT is what's being used for the price reference because the stable coins pretty much died. So pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for those markets. Let's jump out of there. And of course, let's go to the BNB markets and have a look at those. I'll get to the comments after this before we get onto the Pulsechain project updates. So let me just keep track of the time there. Coming up to the end of the day. We're only 1 minute away to the end of the Hex day. So we're going to get the Hex day stats later. We've got Pulse Dodge is at just under 0.4 of a penny. No real change here. And also 10 cents on P33 there. Little change there. And of course, the other pair, which is IM, is not loading. But I'm pretty sure that's not firing either. But we'll have a quick look because we've got to do our, got to keep faithful to those. So internet money. Let's have a look here. I don't know if it's going to show up there. Let's just do IM. Maybe IM is good enough. Coming up that easy as I thought it would do. All right, we'll close out of there and let's leave that. We'll leave internet money today, just the way it goes. All right, so let's jump over to the airdrop. So Pulse Dodge coin. Obviously, this is my pick over the next say week and a half. And of course, we're counting this down. We're expecting it had a bit of a rally over the last 24 hours, but it's just come down at the bottom now. It got up to $4.66. So the plane really should be red at the moment. But this is looking very optimistic at this one over the next week and a half, say, waiting for a launch of the dual token system with Pulse Bitcoin, looking for some innovative gamification potentially, and holding PLSD may be able to leverage or amplify that opportunity. We're going to wait and find out. But definitely pull back here to $4.09 at the moment. So maybe a little bit of selling, maybe a whale sold or something like that. Hard to tell. Let me have a look here. I'm going to just go the hourly on here. Pulse Dodge. We've got a few volume candles in here. Definitely RSI cooling off in the hourly. A few volume candles, but it's just sort of at the bottom of a range at the moment, isn't it? On the hourly, up to $5.20, but it hasn't been that high. So really, the top of the range is $4.60. Bottom of the range around $4. So about a 60 cent 60 cents range there at the moment. Definitely the volumes that were here, the sell-off volumes are down, but this is must have a bit of selling volume going on here, pulling us down just the last couple of hours, a bit of negative selling. But once again, still the play, my main play on at the moment for this. That's in the probable category, right? So I have two categories. I have the probable and I have the possible category. The possible is kind of the speculative category, and sometimes they can actually outperform the probable category, right? It's just the way it goes. All right, so cool. That's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the weight token. Weight token airdrop, of course. Be careful out there. There's a scam out there, and especially on Telegram, and they're saying that you're going to get possibly up to $500 if you go and claim on like an Ether airdrop site. That is a false claim. That is a false claim, and of course you can go to our Discord, hit new token links, and you'll see the official links there to do the claim for weight. Do not hit on anything that you see on Telegram or Twitter or anything that says, "Hey, claim here up to $500." That's not how it works. There are 8 sacrifices. If you participated in that, you'd be able to claim. But on top of that, the link is false, so you need to use the official links. And of course, we got notified of that about an hour ago on Discord. So remember, just go to Discord, and of course you can see that scam here. This is the scam. That is a scam site, and of course the $500 in weight, that is a scam. So don't go to that. And of course get the official sites here under new token links. And of course you can go up to the weight token if you are going to claim. Obviously, the longer you don't claim, the better. But there is the weight stuff there, right? So that is all the details. You don't need to, you can find it. And of course, you can go to the official Twitter and confirm all these, of course, but that's where they are. So just be careful out there. Scams out there, they're after your crypto. At the moment, of course, it's at the bottom of the range at just under 0.6 of a penny, just skimming along there. Most people are waiting until Pulsechain, because you get one weight token per sacrifice per wallet and every day. So it just keeps going up every hour. Sorry, it just keeps going up. So pretty crazy. All right, so cool. That's pretty much it. Let's go to the founder of Wildcards. These are people from within the community. Of course, we're going to look at Conrad Zen's one here. And of course, his one is just over 0.8 of a penny. And of course, they consider these speculative. They base, systems like burning and volume trading with a bit of a tax there to make the burning, and of course, paying people that hold get the rewards from the volume trade. But of course, typically these things do wind down. So far, this is holding up. So good on for that. I do think that really needs to get up to 3 or 4 cents before you really start making it a great investment. Otherwise, the risk return is reasonably high. But at the moment, of course, it's got a function you don't actually claim. It just sort of credits you your payments, which is pretty cool. I like that. But once again, so far this is holding up. So not much you can say about that at this stage. And of course, good, congratulations to those that are benefiting from it. All right, cool. That is pretty much it. Let's jump over to, we just lost the other one. We lost Trayvon's one. It keeps on getting rugged. Have you noticed? Trayvon's more token keeps on getting rugged. Don't tell Trayvon that. You might get upset about that. Let's go look at the more token. And of course, let's see where it's at the moment. So the more token, this is Trayvon's, of course. Trayvon. It's, oh wow, that's had a nice little rally actually. It was looking really weak, that's for sure. And it had lower lows, and it got all the way down here to 62 cents. It's had a nice little push back and above the lower low there too. So setting itself up for a better future, that's for sure. 96 cents at the moment with a high of $1. So nice stuff there, and obviously benefiting from this bullish environment that's come back in for October. So cool. And I think that's it on those charts. Now, obviously, we're going to go back to our charts, and we're going to look at our final one, of course, and that's going to be our speculative crypto casino iGaming, and that is BNB pot, which is obviously Pulsepot is what was starting off. They wanted to launch this on Pulsechain. Pulsechain is not here. They are launching on 5 chains, a bit like XZen. XZen is launching on BSC, Polygon, and Ethereum, and of course we'll get forked over with Ethereum, so that'll be 4 chains. And of course that's free, and of course this one here is different. This is crypto casino, so this is different from our more conservative stuff like Hex. This is more speculative, more a different area of the market. Instead of going to getting a good savings deposit return, it's more like going to play on the casino. So it's pretty much the difference. But of course, this is the world's first ever decentralized crypto casino. That's a big deal. And so we're going to be watching to see this. Is really going to be fun to see. At the moment, of course, there's been a bit of profit taking in here by some early people, especially this candle here. So did get down to a low of, what's it? This is on the hourly candle, by the way. It got down to $9.61 with some, people that have got sacrifice stuff that are selling down their stuff. Maybe some referrals in there, I don't know. But they sold it down, bam, bam, bam. And it went down to here. And, of course, now it's just fighting its way back up at $12.68 at the moment. And, of course, you can see the full chart there. Started off at $5, got to a high of $17.62 and got down to $9 and back up at $12.68. So pretty interesting. I think the volume on it's something like maybe $330,000 in liquidity or something like that. But that's holding up pretty well so far. We'll be watching it because obviously there's a couple of significant things that are happening, and we're going to quickly check that out on BNB Pot, of course. Let me just zoom in on this on BNB Pot site here. They had a big post here 3 hours ago. Nothing to see here. Wink, wink. And, of course, I was sweating there. Just casually 60% of the entire supply is staked. And, of course, we're in day 4, I think it is. Day 4. I'm pretty sure we're in day 4. And, of course, 4, 7. So I think something like that. 3 or 4. 4 day. I think we're on day 4. And, of course, they've got the percentage there, 60% stake, which is pretty awesome. And, of course, the other big news is they got listed on Live Coin Watch, which is pretty cool. So yesterday it was a Coin Caprica and Nomics, and now Live Coin Watch as well. So you can see it there. That's pretty cool. I think those are the kind of the 2 newses there. But of course, I've done some calculations a few hours ago, and of course, we've got the user balance. Now, one thing I did when I did the BNB coverage yesterday, I actually included the participation pool because I didn't know whether it was staked or not. So I had it down here. I have actually checked that on the contract. You can actually check who's staked on which wallet. And so that is actually staked. So the whole percent is staked. Someone said maybe 50%. So I did investigate that afterwards. And it is 100% staked, which this participation pool is the reward pool for people that play on BNB Pot when it launches in a few days. So that is staked. So I've included that there, which means that we're actually, based on that, we're at 60.58. But we're actually higher than that now since I did this a couple of hours ago. And we had some pretty good staking amounts overnight too. Which is pretty cool. The other thing, I think it was like 50,000 staked, extra staked overnight, maybe 40,000 staked overnight. So that was pretty cool. And now the BNB Pot team is 71,855. Remember, there's only 1 million, but the user balance is the million less the liquidity pool. And of course, we've got that down there much lower. So if we included that, if we took off the user balance, the team's wallet, we're actually closer to 65.34, which is probably more like 66% now, because that means about two-thirds of PulsePot BNB have already staked in like 4 days. That's really great. We would ideally like to get up to 85 or something like that. It'd be really, really good. And of course, the higher the better, right? That's just the way it goes. And of course, that's what we want in Hex as well, right? We want really high percentage out either off the market with the Origin account or staked. That's pretty much it. So staked 8 days there. We've got that counting down. So it's probably 7 days now in the buy and burn. So these are all bullish. Remember, there's massive buy and burn. If you haven't seen my Pumpamentals video, man, I summarized it pretty concisely. So check that out because that's been well received. A lot of great comments about the BNB Pot Pumpamentals video because I did try and get all the very Pumpamentals in one place in as short as video as I could. So definitely awesome. Now, the other thing, of course, is we're going to jump over to the sun here. 7 days to go. Woo-hoo-hoo! And then gaming begins, man. Gaming begins. So excited about this. This is a fun part of stuff here that we're going to be covering. It's always good to have something that's really active and fun to talk about. And, of course, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. 7 days to go until gaming starts. And, of course, it's going to start with the jackpot. So jackpot here. And I'll be doing some videos on this anyway, so you'll check that out. And then, of course, they're going to have roulette. Now, I'm not sure how quickly roulette's going to come in. They have done most of all of it, like the UI, the coding, the maths, things like that. So expecting this to be follow the jackpot pretty quickly. And, of course, they've done the auctions for the roulette, auctions for the fortune wheel. Fortune wheel needs a bit, still got more work to go. I think front ends and things like that. And some of the codings, things like that. But otherwise, it looks like we're going to have that and then that. and then that. And then the sports is in the wrong order. We'll probably have price calls then sports, and then probably what do you call it? Just have mind blank there. I just can't remember what's called. Let me just don't remember what it is. I think I've got something over here that might tell me. Slot machines. That was it, slot machines. And then, of course, we may get tables after that, like poker tables, stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool. So awesome stuff. Now, obviously, the stake percentage at the moment, the latest one, the official one, not including the team, of course, which I include, is 60.92%. So looking really good on that point. And, of course, we've got 7 days, 6 days, or 6 days and 3 minutes to go. Woohoo! Now, I didn't even refresh that. That was old. So we're down to 6 days and 23 hours to go in 48 minutes. So very, very cool. It's counting down. Man, what's going to happen to the staking? What will happen to the price chart? It's going to be fun to watch, right? It's going to be fun to watch. So let's see where we're at the moment. We're currently at $12.82. All right, cool. Let's jump over from there. That's the latest updates from BNB pot. Let's close down all that. We're going to get into Zen. Woohoo! What's that called? XN. Woohoo! So next project, XN. This is free claim, by the way. 3 chains, BSC, Polygon, and Ethereum. And, of course, 3 days and 17 hours to go. So I think that's Saturday on the United States time and Sunday, early morning Sunday in Australia and New Zealand. And, of course, the Pacific Islands out there. Don't forget you Pacific Islanders out there. And, of course, Samoa, Tonga, Niue, I guess Fiji, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea. I guess it's getting a bit high now, Papua New Guinea, but it's definitely out there in the islands there. So very, very cool. Yeah, 3 days and 17 hours to go. We are counting down, folks. Woohoo! So getting good there. And of course, you'll be able to have the official site. Now I've got all the links to this in the Discord. If you go to new token links, I've added them all at the bottom here. There are a lot of them. And of course, got all of these links here. So you got the official website here. You got Twitter for the founder, Jack Levin. You got the Fair Crypto. You got the PDF with the white paper. You got the calculator there with Fair Calculator. And of course, I've done a video on that before for this live stream, so you can check that out. Also, how to use it. There's a video with how to use that with Jack Founder, but I've also done I've done a video on that, so you can watch both of them if you like. Of course, my one's shorter. That's all I was going to say. And of course, the Xen there, testnet there, you can actually play around, like you pretend that you're going to mint. And of course, once you've tested that, you can use BSC or Gorilla testnets. And then, of course, you're going to have to use the official site, up here to actually mint, which is the one we're looking at over here. So this is the official one. And of course, there's a testnet version, just like we did on Pulsechain. But this is the one you're going to want to come to. So that's pretty cool. And of course, that's pretty much it. I think we got all that stuff there. Now I've got a video coming out with the testnet that's coming out in an hour after this live stream. So look forward to that. That is, so I've done a video on how much will you get, and of course the calculator explained. And my next video is how to mint your XN tokens there. Now, obviously, you can do it on 3 chains with different wallets. Stuff like that. So it's obviously pretty important. I think the most important thing to take away is that really try and be part of the first people, and you're going to be get an early number. It's going to benefit you because everyone else that comes in behind you, it helps prop up your minting capability. So pretty much earlier pays better, right? And of course, more accounts you have, the better. You're going to be ranked really high. The other thing, of course, is that it's going to be multi-chain too, so that's cool. And then the Ethereum is going to get forked over to Pulsechain, so you're going to have a copy on Pulsechain. Very nice. All right, so cool. That's coming up there, and that's a big deal because it's free. And of course, I always suggest you use wallets that are not your staking wallets, not your Hex stake, something like that. Don't use that wallet. Use a different wallet and isolate that investment, isolate that risk to a new wallet with new keys, new seed phrase keys and stuff like that. It's always a good decision. You might end up with 10 wallets with different key phrases, but it's better to have that kind of isolation there. All right, cool. That is pretty much it. And I'll probably be doing a couple more videos on that, short videos, really short, just around any major issues there. I'll be doing one probably around the staking as well on the testnet. As well. So I haven't got up to doing that myself yet. So I've got to do it first, and then I'll do a video on it. That's pretty much as it is. All right, cool. So I've just started picking that up, but seems fairly simple on the most part. So cool. All right, so that's that one there, and you can get all the links in our Discord. The link to Discord is in the video description, and of course, all you have to do is go to new token links, and you'll be able to find all the stuff on here as well. If you're wanting to get off, obviously, all the official links here for Hex Ecosystem Pulsechain, then they're on the useful links at the top there, so you can find all that stuff. All right, we'll jump away from that. I think we've got the Hex daily stats coming up there. So we're going to come back to that. We're up to 116. We've got day 137. Yeah, we're waiting for day 1037 to come off. We're currently in a 1038, so that's coming up there. We'll wait for that as well. So looking good. All right, let's pull up the chart here, and I'm going to get back into the chat. I haven't been doing as well on the chat as I normally do, but I'm going to leave it on the Hex price here as I jump through that chat there. Hope you guys are doing well, and it's been fairly informative. That's kind of the main stuff there. What else we got there? I'm going to pull that down a little bit there. That's how far did I get back? I think got up to there. But the next in the house there, it's Taco Tuesday here in the United States. Actually, I saw something on that Bit Finesse. I saw something on Taco Tuesday, and it makes me. I always met one of the things I remember from the United States when I went there was going to Taco Bell at the border at Florida. Taco Bell at the border of Florida. It was stuck in my mind. I don't know why, but just really did. So pretty cool. Sandy Beach with the beaches. Hey, Sandy Beach. Now, if you haven't checked out Sandy Beach's Sci-Vive, Sandy Beach has done her audio, and of course you can come to our general chat in Discord here. And Sandy Beach's Sci-Vive is up here there. Quotes from Richard Hart, a self-help book, Sci-Vive, featuring Sandy Beach 369. Thanks for always showing up in the chat, Sandy Beach. Your support is seen and appreciated. And this is the beach where Sandy lives, and Sandy posted that. And that's, of course, SJ Wild is the one that does the Survive there. So Sandy Beach was helping SJ Wild there. So very, very cool. So check that out. Really, really cool. All right, cool. Actually, I might post that link in the chat. And why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. And go show some love on Twitter there, and retweet and all that sort of stuff. That's Sandy Beach's tweet there. Nice. Murky's in the house there. What was Murky saying? I think only Hex that can be down nearly 95% and be this hype about the future. Every other crypto absolutely quiet. Yeah. Hey, Murky, I guess the way to look at that is that typically you'd be right. But it's, of course, all the things that are happening to get Hex off the market at the moment, that we know that when Hex goes on its next move, whenever that is, and of course, Pulsechain's coming, that we could see some pretty exciting things. I guess that's kind of the position we take on that, but definitely agree. Sandy Beach in the house. Hello, everybody. David Allen says we are a patient mob. One day, hopefully this year, we will get big news. Absolutely. Maybe we'll get it on Saturday with Richard Hart on Hexologist. Maybe he'll drop some new alpha. Maybe consensus is done and it's all done. And he won't give away too much gameplay, but he maybe give us a hint about something. Who knows? Thank you, everybody, for liking and retweeting my Sci-Vive quote. Yep, and I just posted that. So definitely check that out. Mickey says, hit the likes, guys. Yeah, that'd be really nice. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's see how we're getting along here. Yeah, smash 2 more subscribers. So fantastic. Appreciate the support. And, of course, we're only 46 away from 6,000 subs, which kind of sounds cool. I did hear a YouTuber the other day. He said, I think yesterday, he said, I reached 7,000 subs and I've been growing really fast since then. So maybe when the YouTube algorithms, once you get to 7,000, maybe start to grow. Maybe they rank you up something and you might start grow faster. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe he was just doing better videos. I don't know. More topical videos. Who knows? Blobfish King in the house there. Hi from Australia. Hey, good to see you, Blobfish King. And of course, Pulse Unity in the house as well. Morning, everybody. Good to see Pulse Unity in the chat. And what with the help of Zen and Jack Levin, Richard Hart is trying to use Zen to overload ETH as he launches Pulsechain, pushing people into Pulsechain. It's true too, the Pulse player. Yeah, watch out for those ETH fees, folks. Hex is the GOAT, is in the house. Yeah, Hex is the GOAT, man. And we're watching it very patiently as well. So it's always a good day to pick up some Hex, as we say. Always a good day, especially after a 95% pullback. Pulse Beta says there's only one Zen, and that puts that's Pulse Zen. Let's not get Xen confused with Zen. That's true, Pulse Beta. That is true. It's really hard. Time to get my Superman fix. Heading to work though. Hey PSI, appreciate it. A big shout out and enjoy your day at work, man. CJ in the house. Good to see CJ. What else there? And what else there? Immigrant at Batman's Hexman Batman's in the house. Immigrant, hey, good to see you, Hexman Batman. I have seen your comment as too on one of the videos, Hexman. I will get back to that. I have to go and do some confirmations first before I answer that one. Davis in the house there. Good to see Davis heading to the beach with our new dog and old one. We'll catch up later, says Sam. Hey, Sam, enjoy yourself. Have a good day out there. And agree with your views, says Davis. I appreciate that, Davis. Ashley in the house there. Woo! And Pulse Beta, good morning, Super. Good to see Pulse Beta in the house. And of course, Pulse Beta, your PZN is going well for you. Congratulations. And Hedron has been awesome in a bear market. It was launched in a bad bear market. Just think how it does in a bull. Absolutely, Pulse player, absolutely. Al Merlos says, what up, Hexkins? Patience wins. We all win. That's true. Al Merlos says, Hex to 55 cents in December. Whoa. We like your prediction. That's for sure. Andrew says, will BNBP, i.e. Pulse Pot BNB, go on to your Binance charts to cover price moves daily? No, because kind of those are meme charts, as opposed to BNBP is out on its own. It's more speculative in the gaming market. So I separated that out on the charts. Hex to tree 50 in 2 weeks when the Pulse launch. Hey, look, to be honest, Andrew, it's probably going to completely outperform all those BNB charts on those BNB memes. I mean, they're all underperforming, aren't they? Pulse launched on Richard Hart's birthday, says Al Moss. That'd be cool. Hey, completion fails in the house there. Hey, family, good to see you. We're going to jump through some of these. Wookie's in the house. Wookie says this crypto has become a full-time job. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the live stream. I said it's so busy in our Hex ecosystem, Pulse Chain. We're waiting for Pulse Chain. You got to remember that we've got so many YouTubers out there, over 100. I think I counted 45 under 1,000 subs. We got 46 between 1,000 and 5,555 subs. And then, of course, we've got a whole ton above 5,055. So we've got a big community. But of course, as soon as Richard Hart forking Ethereum with Pulse Chain, we've now not just talking about Hex now, we're talking about, projects all over the place, and it's really hard not to cover them, right? So this is part of the thing. Richard forked all these projects, and, well, you got to be open-minded and welcoming, and you still got to be selective, but you still got to be, get the balance right. It's kind of about the right balance. Sandy Beach in the house there. Hey, Wookie, woohoo! And what else do we got going on there? We've got Texan token donation phase details. 11 days left, says KD. Hey, thanks for that. Heads up there. And a big shout out to Rags to Riches, and of course, who's on tour about that in Texas with I think Crypto Heartbeat as well. I did watch a little vlog of Rags the other day. He's always at this restaurant. He always makes me hungry. He always goes to a restaurant and does a vlog, and he talks about crypto and Texan token and things like that. And he's always eating these fun foods in a good atmosphere. I'm like, man, welcome to America, because America's famous for these restaurants. Like I said to you, when I went there, it was the one thing was the restaurants almost seem like you're in Disneyland. If you're not born there, it feels like Disneyland. It's kind of weird. If you're born there, I guess it's just like a restaurant here. But when you're not born there, it's a bit like Disneyland. So you go to just a McDonald's, even though we've got McDonald's here, and go to McDonald's there, it's a bit like Disneyland. Although I must say the restaurants are really the fun part. And people, if you got, sometimes I went to a one in North Carolina, I think, and the waiters were coming to sit down with us and all sorts of stuff. I had that also in Canada, actually, too. Some crazy stuff right there. Great White says, howdy all. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep up. I know, Great White. Hopefully, we're trying to do a reasonable summary on this channel. And sometimes I got behind there, got a little behind with the XN one there. Stuck says, with all the new Hex arbitrage options, do they ultimately hit Hex, dividing moonbags? I think in the short term they do Stuck, but in the longer term they benefit because of the Hex staking. I'm always, as you guys know, I always talk about circulating supply and Hex, and that's really what because that's going to flow in to propensity for people to sell and liquidity, because obviously how much Hex is in liquidity pair is the ultimate short-term determination and supply and demand on that liquidity, and the way that liquidity is set up on both sides of the pool. But in the medium longer term, it's really that circulating supply. Can we get the Hex off the market and then reduce the velocity of Hex moving around? And that's really what I keep watching. That's why I always bring up that waterfall chart. And of course, with Maximus out there with the perpetuals and Maxi, 1.1 billion locked away up there. HSI stakes have locked away tons, must be getting pretty high too. I see millions going through the HSI 555s every day these days. So it really is a big deal. Is Zen UTC time? Well, I don't know about that. I did post the link in here on the UTC time. I'm not sure. I actually didn't check that myself, so I haven't done that. But here is the site. So I would just try and work it out in your own calendar, Sandy, and maybe add that in if you want to do that. So there it is there. Good question, though. Markets are looking good, says Pulse Unity. They are indeed looking good. 3 days and 16 hours ago for XN there. All right, so I think we've got the Hex Daily stats out. Surely it must be out now. We're up to, no, day 137. We're up to 1,037. We're on day 1,038 and 26 minutes into it already. Come on, day 1,037. You can publish yourself. Normally it used to be like 16, 17 minutes after the hour, but it's been really random variable times at the moment. So pretty cool. What we might do is come back to Hex Daily Stats. So we're going to get out into the main topic, which is right at the end. And of course, Richard Hart, the Millionaire Maker. Richard Hart, the Millionaire Maker, indeed. Man, we love what he does. He loves his shop marketing and all that sort of stuff. But of course, he is building out this is the year of infrastructure. You know, he's building out vertical integration. And, you know, he's been posting on Twitter about different things around the market and all that sort of stuff, with his outrage marketing and stuff, and you know, just doing incredible stuff out there. So he's biding his time. Obviously, he's not ready to launch things. If he was ready, he'd be doing, you know, doing stuff. Maybe on Saturday we might get something out of him on the Hexologist, so we'll watch out for that, and maybe just an update of what he's been up to as well. So that's pretty cool. But really creating the infrastructure, which is the vertical integration with Pulsechain, PulseX. So we've got Pulsechain. If you haven't found it out, of course, go check it out, pulsechain.com. That is operating, and of course we've been playing around with 3 public test networks. They've got a 4th private test network, and of course they've been redoing a lot of the code for the consensus, and of course been testing that as well. So we're looking forward to having probably the best version of Ethereum chain that's going to be proof of stake, and of course a better proof of stake hopefully, and of course also removing any bugs and things like that. So hopefully we'll have a very highly securitized, super fast, super cheap chain, and of course one that is definitely upgradable. It would be pretty cool too. So we're looking forward to some of that sort of stuff, and good consensus stuff there as well. So yep, we may get another test net though. That's definitely a possibility, but we'll find out what way he's going to play this out, and so forth. So that's pretty cool. So check out Pulsechain, of course. I've got plenty of videos on the fundamentals. And those fundamentals are going to be huge, right? So I'm going to be doing a short video. I was trying to do it last night, but I actually ended up having a few issues trying to get that finished. So I will be doing the Pulsechain pump video coming up, and hopefully it's going to be really good for people new to crypto, new to Pulsechain, new to Hex. And of course, this is going to be the biggest thing out there, man. This is not just a chain too. So if you hear people saying, oh, there are other cheap chains out there, there are other fast chains. Yeah, but this is a whole ecosystem that Richard Hart is laying down. And of course, there's a lot of very talented devs that are built around it, that are building stuff that's going to be incredible. So it's not going to be like the ETH Power or ETH Fair launch. And it's going to be the utility is going to land, and stable coins, everything we're going to need is going to land pretty much together around the same time, maybe within 2 months, let's say at the most. But it's going to be pretty incredible with the DeFi, stable coins, cross-chain swap bridges, which is really fundamental. We need people to be able to get the economic energy in, on ramps, off ramps, stuff like that. So we're going to have Pulsechain. This is part of the vertical integration. Pulsechain, PulseX, of course, that's part of the ecosystem. We've got the AIM bot running. We've got the big buy and burn. If we get $1 million of volume, we're going to have that burning. $700,000 of buy and burn value. Plus, of course, we're going to get the big, it will still be the biggest airdrop of all time, because but there'll be more coins on ETH when we fork it, and of course there's going to be all these native Pulsechain projects as well. So if you haven't seen my video, I did an update on that 120 projects, and I'd also pointed out some of my favorite probable ones and favorite speculative ones or possible ones there. So check out that video. So we got all the stuff happening. What's going to happen is it's going to really make millionaires when it does launch. And of course, this whole ecosystem is ginormous. This is not just a simple fork chain. And of course, doing a proof of work or whatever. This really is a whole giant ecosystem that's going to be jumped onto crypto. And of course, it's got a huge amount of stakeholders in it. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. was it 140, 150,000 stakeholders in PulseX alone. And since that time, we've had so many people coming. Was it like 40,000, 45,000 in Pulse, and 3 times the amount in PulseX, maybe a bit more. And of course, so we know that there's going to be so many more people have come since that time, and they're going, how do I get Pulse? How do I get this? People are wanting it, man. Don't be. I get so many comments about people. Oh, how do I get Pulse? How do I get this? Wait till it drops. It's going to be pretty incredible. And of course, actually, the delay has been fantastic because all the utilities, our premier utilities like Liquid Loans, I guess Fiat, and projects like Win-Win and all these other sort of projects around have had a chance to build out the utilities, Power City, Pulse LN. All these things are going to be able to finish their products and have them already, which is so good. We're already going to see Power City with their core and the amplifier launching on test network this month. So you can see what I mean. The time has played out perfectly, and obviously that partnership recently with Power City, mind-boggling that we could have links into potentially. I think it was 65 chains or something like that, 68 chains linked in. Oh my gosh, Pulse Chain's going to rock it. But no one's got this PulseX buy and burn and all these utilities around it that's going to drop all at the same time with the biggest airdrop in crypto history. Super fast, super cheap chain. Now that's just like the basic utility, right? That's not the ultimate selling point. The ultimate selling point is the whole ecosystem is going to be dropping together. So that's going to make millionaires, folks. And Richard Hart is the millionaire maker. It's going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, he's made millionaires in Hex.com, and more millionaires will be made in Hex.com. The circulating supply has been eaten up, and it's going to get a lot of virality with the highest stakes coming out. Pulse Chain coming up, of course. All these amazing devs like Dipcatcher and Alex McFurder and all those sort of people, Power City coming in there, and of course getting new staking products, optimizing that, getting people to access to the bigger pays better, to cheap gas fees, all that sort of stuff is really amplifying that and getting all that Hex off the market as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting, and of course Pulse Chain is going to pump that up as well. We've also, don't forget to mention, the Hex Investment Trust is our, not only have we got these awesome devs in crypto, but we've got this bridge to the big fiat capital markets, which are ginormous. They open up all the big institutional players and corporations as well to be able to come into the Hex ecosystem once they get to hit that mark. Now, all we need is probably Hex price to go up higher. I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 cents. I don't know how much they've got in there. But of course, once they hit that 50 million target, then Kinetics and Wales only, all that will be able to pretty much apply for a listing on NASDAQ, and of course meet SEC requirements. So looking really good. I think they've already hit the number of people that they need in the trust. I think it's just and that's just based on the way I've heard Kinetics talking, but I just really think it's the Hex value to get that hit back over $10 million in that pool. And then, of course, that will open them up to public listing. And then we'll get transparency to how much actual Hex is in the Hex Investment Trust. And, of course, that's all going to be staked 5555, right? So it's going to be fascinating with that. But for them, it's actually really positive. They're getting Hex, accumulating Hex at a big pullback, 90%, 95%. So it's been able to accumulate really well at this point. So when it does flick back and they get $10 million of valuation, that's going to open up a gateway for Hex. You can see how many cool things are coming. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just waiting patiently. Proof of weight, as we say, proof of weight. And it's going to be exciting to see that play out. So this is Pulse Chain. And of course, we've talked about Hex. If you haven't checked out Hex as well, these are both Richard Hart's products. So Richard Hart is building out infrastructure this year, vertical integration with Pulse Chain, PulseX. Obviously looking at, I've got 2 devs on a MetaMask wallet. And of course, looking at on-ramps, off-ramps. We just see a recent tweet about that. And of course, inviting any sellers pretty much. And how the form that takes and what happens there is another open question. But of course, we are getting other people doing on-ramp, off-ramp provisions and stable coins like Coast, like BankX, and of course, Liquid Loans to some degree with the stable coin. So we are getting a bit of that action. We've also got EB Exchange, of course, with Overwatch, Rack and Michelle. So we've got some pretty badass stuff coming, and looking forward to that. Obviously, Rack and Michelle doing at least 4 or 5 projects at least on the Pulse Chain, including a listing site as well. So looking really bold. Richard's also talked in the past about a big exchange contacting him as well. So we know that once we get 1 or 2 exchanges, the rest of them start following. They may say, "Oh, I'm not listing this," that they start following. We've also got Teller coming via Liquid Loans as an oracle. So that's going to be great. One of the big oracles there. And of course, we have Chainlist there. They'll eventually cave. Go, "Oh my goodness, it's so valuable. Pulse Chain's so big now. we've got to come there anyway. We're a bit late because we have a bit of attitude, but we'll get there at the end. And, this is the way it goes. So once it starts raining, it pours, right? That's pretty much how it's going to happen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The other thing, of course, is a massive social media army out there. And, of course, we've got a huge community in terms of YouTube promoters, over 100 of them. It's probably much higher than that, actually, 130 if we include all the bigger channels. So it's going to be fun to see that. What else? We got, let's jump over to Richard Hart, of course, richardhart.com. Check out richardhart.com. And, of course, Richard Hart is a force for good in this world. He has to balance things out and get things, be open, but not too open. He has to get things right, and he does that. He's very patient with that. And, of course, gets out and does his marketing, does his thing. And, of course, bling, bling. People are attracted to bling, bling. And, of course, he loves to do that. So it's pretty cool. And, check out richardhart.com. Now, all these links, of course, to all these sites are in our Discord. So you can join with our Discord in the links below. And you can see useful links here and go right to the top. And you will see all the links to Hex, all the top links to Hex there. And, of course, everything around contracts and security audits and all that sort of stuff. Hex was the one that led the way in audits in crypto, led the way, made the Uniswap popular with the using Uniswap. So Hex is not just any ordinary thing. Richard Hart has really changed the game in crypto. And some things you may not have thought of around the audits and around Uniswap usage and many other products as well. So Hex has really led the way and made decentralized crypto very, very popular and very, very safe. People that have been staying on centralized exchange and centralized projects have been wrecked a lot of the times. You don't own your keys, don't own your coins, and that's one of Richard's big principles there. Obviously, we've got Pulsechain and Hex Sacrifice apps there, and Richard Hart as well. Sites there you can find Richard Hart's website there, which I just showed you, which is this one here. So check all that out, folks. Check out Pulsechain. Check out Hex.com. Now, the sacrifices of Pulsechain and Hex are over. You can only get it, of course, once the Pulsechain launches, buying that. But typically, in the first couple of months, it's a great time to accumulate great big projects. And, of course, we're expecting big things from these and extra returns. But obviously, non-investment advice, do your own due diligence and check things out for yourself. All right, cool. That is pretty much it. So we're going to get back into Hex Daily Stats. We're coming up to an hour and 7 minutes. And, of course, we got today 1,037 hot off the press. Woohoo! The 4th of October 2022, where price is up 2.2% at 3.44 cents. So nice to have 2 days of price climbs there. And the share rate there, big day Hex penalty per T-share. Woohoo! 6.392. We get paid. Hex is really about T-shares. And, of course, we get paid big time. People trade on the side, up and down the price goes. But, of course, if you're faithful to the project, then and you've got your stakes, you're going to be getting 6.39 Hex today. And, of course, you get paid every day. Your little money printer, pretty cool there. And, obviously, we've got the share rate up 7 to 24,247. The share price is $835. Now, obviously, if you decide to stake Hex, and you stake longer, you get paid 20% more shares for your Hex. So when you stake your Hex gets burned. And, of course, you get shares in return. Your shares is part of the ownership pool, and it owns the reward pool. So that's pretty much how that works. So every year that you stake your Hex, you get 20% more shares. And, of course, up to 10 years as the maximum period. That's 200% more shares. So you can get it for a T-share for a third of this price if you stake longer. Longer pays better. One of the two big principles there. Obviously, bigger pays better as well. But it's obviously harder to get a lot of Hex these days as well. Okay, so the T-share rate is up 7 there. That's pretty cool. The average stake length is 6.65 years in Hex, which is amazing, right? So that's the average stake length that people have deferred their gratification, have staked out, and, of course, they get rewarded for that. Longer pays better. The annual percentage yield rate, and that includes the yield, which is inflation in Hex, which is normally up to 3.65%, but effectively is lower than that. And the emergency end stakes there, penalties, is 39% today. Great day in the office. Look at that compared to yesterday, 37.43% is great. Now, this percentage is paid out in Hex, remember? So don't get confused with US dollar terms there. Obviously, that's subject to the price of the market. Liquidity pool is 242 million in there, down from yesterday, 253 and 277 the day before. So very, very good direction. We like that. And we're back over 12 million in liquidity pools. Now, these move around based on supply and demand, people buying and selling, but they also move around based on people adding and removing liquidity. So just remember that as well. All right, so liquidity in the pool of ETH is 1,322. Let's jump over to T-shares. T-shares down 12,835. We've just come through 4 days of recently big candles. From that 770 million to a couple, those 400 million. And so we've had a bit of move around here in the T-shares. We're currently at 10,476,000 T-shares. And of course, I'm expecting that to go down over time, and the hex payment per t-shirt to go up as kind of over time. We're expecting that. Now, if you want to see some modeling around that, you can check out the Crypto Sparbook channel. They've done annual remodeling. I don't know whether they're due for another one soon. Probably at the end of their 3 years. Maybe they'll do another one there. Maybe in January, February, I think they may do it. So cool. Yeah, so 116 increase in circulating supply, 100 million decrease in staking. So you can see all those decreases in staking with all those candles coming out. And of course, actually, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's jump over here. The stake percentage of coins, so 9.74% of all Hex is staked at the moment. And you got to remember that what we call the origin account or sacrifice wallets is I kind of call it like the financial operator, which helps support the Hex ecosystem with the stakers, protects the staker class. That controls somewhere like 90% of people say. And obviously, the best estimate we have that is Gunther the Accountant, aka Wolverine, who does Hex audits. So that's kind of the best estimates of the numbers there. So 9.74% of all Hex is staked, which is pretty good. And we've got a really good day in penalties. Unfortunately, that means that other people have not kept their responsibilities in some form or another, either late or whatever. And of course, we had quite a bit of good accounting on those stakes. 5.7 million Hex there as well. So good day in the office for us test shareholders. Let's look at the growth of Hex, of course. Continues to grow. Wallet's up 41 to 310,730. Stakers up 46 to 109,871. And Richard always says, get out there and do direct promotions. You know, maybe it's delivering around your local area, some pamphlets, or getting online, whatever you feel comfortable with. Get out there and spread the word around Hex. And of course, people need a copy on the Pulsechain, right? Because when it gets forked, they'll get that. And of course, the price pullback's a really good entry level after a 90% pullback there. So get out there, spread the word. Hex.com. All right. So, we hit it. Woohoo! Yeah. Total holders, 500,000. We did it, folks. We did it. 500,000, 184 total holders, 500,000. I should have timed the video, 500,000. I don't know. That's crazy stuff there. Maybe I'll have to do that tomorrow. 500,000. I'll do that to tomorrow's live stream. How about that? It'll be a bit late, but it'll still be in the day before the end of the day, half an hour in, so it'll still qualify. 500,000. Well done, everybody. Woo-hoo-hoo. And maybe I'm going to have to put something out on Twitter on that. That's going to go on Twitter. So that's awesome there. Maybe you can clip my little video. Woohoo! 500,000, 500,000. We hit it, folks. Woohoo! And you can put that out on the Twitter. How about that? Cool. All right. So we're up 184. Very, very nice. And of course, we're up there today, 1,038. As we're heading towards 3 years, which will be 1,095, the 2nd of December. And we're looking forward to it. So it's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, let's get on. Less than 2 months to go. Less than 2 months counting down. So pretty exciting there. So that pretty much is the Hex Daily Stats. We're coming up almost to an hour and a quarter, which is almost perfect timing. You know how we rock and roll here. Very, very cool. Hey, we've got a couple of new people in the Discord. So welcome to Cherries there. Let's go to Cherries there. I've got to find project. Let's give PulseX for you. And, we've already got someone's already done PulseX there. We have to do IEs in the house there. We'll have to do IE. Let's do give Heinz Crypto. How about that? So very, very cool. Welcome to them. Yesterday we had Pro Hexer, Dr. Deuce, and of course Hexaroo there. So big welcome to you. We're heading up towards 800 members. It's a really great community. And yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good time in there. The only things we ever have to do is either remove spammers or which we get every so often. I've had like 4 or 5 Supermans I've had to delete. Just the way it goes. And the other thing, of course, is just to make sure that people are doing Hex Richard Hart stuff and the Richard Hart tokens and new tokens in the new tokens chat. So it helps if people repost them in the right places. We just don't want to get things messed up there with the risk return and all that sort of stuff. So pretty cool. All right, currently Hex at 3.425 cents at the moment. Maxi at 7.3 with a what's the premium on here? Premium of 2.11. We've got Maxi at 7.2. I'll actually jump through that one. We've got Icosa there at $1.09, just down slightly from what we had before. And of course, looks like the real hot chart is the Hedron chart. That looks like real hot chart there at 3,873. Hit up 4,000, just back a little bit from there. So looking good on the Hedron. And I always jump back over to the Pulse Dodge coin there, back up at $4.21 there, having a little bit of a bounce. So that's cool. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Woohoo! That's our live stream, folks. And of course, we hit 500,000. Is that awesome? Let's get into the chat just to wrap things up. 500,000. We hit the total numbers. That is amazing. We did it. We did it. 500,000. That's cool. All right, let's get to a couple more comments. We're going to wrap up after I do this. Now, I've got a video coming out on XN again, how to mint your tokens. I'm using the testnet for that, so that's coming out in an hour. So look forward to that one. But let's get back into some of the comments as well. I'll have to do a bit better actually swapping between the charts and the comments. But you guys know that when I kept on doing, I kept on putting comments in front of my chart, which is really, really bad. So yeah. All right, let's jump through some of these. I think I got up to there. Pulse Player says the Hedron has been doing awesome in the bear market. I think I got up to that one. Hex is a tree fitty in 2 weeks. Then Pulse launches. I think that's where we started from there. Pulse launch. Yeah, I think we got up to that as well. Wookie says crypto has become a full-time job. I think we got up to that too. We got up to all that. Man, I went way far too back there. A Great White's in the house there. Howdy all. So much going on. It's hard to keep up. I got up to that too. Oh my gosh, did I actually get up? I'm not that far behind the comments, which is crazily good. That's pretty cool. I don't feel so bad now. In fact, it was only 4 comments since I was talking, so that's funny. Pulse Zen says holding strong. Wealth builder, compounding, yield, copy on Pulse Chain. Thanks, Dan Dog Crypto. Yeah, well, you, Pulsar Beta, and Stressful Struggle are big 3 advocates of that project. I'm glad to see that it's holding up fairly well for you. Ashtree says, can't wait for PLS. I had to claim some weight, says Ashtree. Yeah, that's fine, man. I'm pleading other people. I think it's about 120 million has been claimed so far, somewhere in that ballpark. PLSU copy to Pulse Chain. And then Staking says Pulse Unity. And what else there we got there? Thank you, Hex Token, everybody. Very tired. Hey, Sandy Beach, rest up. And don't forget to go check out Sandy Beach's tweet. It's a good place to wrap up there. Take care, everybody. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, but I'll be doing some short form videos, as you know. One more is coming out in an hour's time. Take care, everybody, and yeah, see you in Discord. See you in Discord. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and of course, if you want to join this channel, hit the join button. Pulsicans, Hexkins, Rich Heart Club. Get into our Discord. The link is in the video description. And of course, all the very best today. Have a great day, everybody. Let's shine together. All right, so let's play some funky music on the way out, eh? Why not? It's time to have fun. We hit 500,000 total. I'm gonna have to put that on Twitter for sure. We're gonna play our Power City teaser trailer, but of course I'm gonna rock this up with another video coming up soon. I've got to replace this one. All right, take care. Bye for now. Woo. All right, so I had to come back in because I got the poll results. I forgot about the poll. The poll results there. Will you mint your free Zen there on Saturday in 3 days' time? Costs gas fees though. Yes, 59% are going to mint their XN. So congratulations. Maybe 15%. What is Zen? Says 30%. Well, we covered that during the live stream. No is 11%. So there we are. Hey, look, sometimes you can beat your poll that you're running, even though it's a cool poll. So those are pretty good bullish results there. All the best to you. It is free, and you can do it on multiple chains. Catch up for my video coming out now on that one, how to mint, and check out my other video, how much you might get with the calculator when you do go to mint. Obviously, after you mint, you got to claim, and that takes 100 days. You got to wait for 100 days for the first 5,000 people. So pretty much that. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to wrap up now for sure. All right, let's play it out. Bye for now. Take care.